Alright, today we are looking at an ear pad installation for the Bose SoundLink On-Ear headphones. I'm going to do the installation on these headphones. However, this installation also applies to Bose On-Ear 2, Bose SoundTrue On-ear, and also Bose On-Ear Wireless headphones. Alright, so before we start doing anything with installing or replacing, I want to show you the pre-installation, which is basically how this thing gets installed. On the back of the ear pad, you see a skirting here, a shiny material. That skirting fits into the slot right there. It goes all the way around and it hugs it, suction cups to it, kind of. Now, you don't need to worry about anything here because the plastic covers over the speaker. So when you take the ear pad off, you're not going to get your fingers into that. Obviously, there are some holes here because that's where the sound comes out, so you don't want to have anything poking in and out of it, but just taking it off with your hands and your fingers, it's not going to do any damage to anything. Okay, removing the ear pads. So it's nice and simple. All you're going to do is take your finger and your thumb and you're going to pinch and you're just going to peel over. And it just comes off. Do it to the other side, pinch and peel. There you go. Okay, so when we're going to install the new ear pads, we have our new ear pads right here. We have our old ones right there. First thing you want to do is look at the actual headphones, and you can see there is going to be an L or an R in the center of the plastic frame, telling you which side is left and right, so you know which way to match them up. Right. Next thing to do is looking at the back of this pad, the original pad, you can see that the skirting has been shaped to the headphone. So that's why it has like a lip around it, whereas the new one is just flat. So we need to kind of make a little bit of a lip on this new ear pad in order to make the installation easier when we go to install them. So the first thing we want to do is actually stretch the material on the back, which is the skirting. So you're just going to grab it with your hands and you're just going to pull it along, just a little tug all the way along around the entire ear pad. Stretch it lengthwise, and then once you do that, you're just going to stretch it across as well, so like this. Oops. Doesn't have to be anything major. That is one pad stretched out, and all you're going to do now is look at the top corner here. So it's going to be right about there. We're just going to flip it over a bit, just to pronounce that skirting, to have that edge on it, to make it easier to fit it into the slot here. Right, so we're going left and left. I'm going to put this top corner in first. Now that that's in, your objective is to get the top installed first, so that when we turn it around, we can finish on the bottom here, and that way we're not doing any of this stuff, trying to mess about on the top to finish off, because as the ear pad will get more installed, that final section is the hardest part to get in, so you're pulling a little bit harder, you're going to end up with stuff in the way, etc. So we're going to put in the corner right here, like that, and now I am going to just come over here and lift up this leather and in. Now, important thing to know is when you are lifting and pulling, you do want to lift on the leather and the skirting at the same time. So you're pulling up like this. Now, there is a plastic frame in the back of the ear pad, and that can make it a little bit harder to install, but we've made our ear pads fairly easy to install, so it shouldn't be an issue. One thing you can do is if you have tried to install the ear pad and you're not having luck, you can take this ear pad, the back of it, you can put it on top of a heat vent on the floor at your house or on top of a radiator, and then that will heat it up and it'll make it more easy to manipulate and more malleable because of the heat. And then you can stretch it. Then it shouldn't be an issue. Right, so back to the installation here. We have our lip right here. We have our ear pad going in here, and now I want to pull the rest of this in, pulling up on the leather and the skirting together. Now the whole top is in place. As you can see black only. So what I'm going to do is turn it over and I'm going to pin it with my hand so that the area that we've put in place doesn't come out when I try to put the rest of it in place. Now on this specific set of headphones, it has a blue frame, so you can see the blue frame here. On the other headphones, you won't necessarily have a blue frame. You'll have a black frame on this one here. On the On-Ear Wireless, you'll have a black frame on the On-Ear 2s, and I believe you have a purple frame on the SoundTrue On-Ears, or a white one, depending on the color you have, obviously. So I'm going to mention how you can see the blue here, but it might not be the case with the other headphones. So I know that this blue is the frame of the headphone, and I know the ear pad's not installed there yet. So what I'm going to do is just lift up, lift up, lift up, pinching and pulling up, pinching and pulling up. And then as you can see, the very end is at the end of the headphone here. This should be the hardest point to get the ear pad in. And that is now in. As you can see here, it's in all the way around. Alright, so the last thing you want to do once you have the ear pad on is just take your fingernail and go around with it in the slot and just push in to the slot and go around like this. That's going to make sure that the skirting has fallen into that slot fully. If the skirting is kind of just hanging over top of the headphone, when you go to use it, it'll just kind of peel off and fall off. So the fingernail helps with that. Alright, second ear pad, right side in this case. We're going to stretch it first, pulling it along. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Oops. I'm only using about medium force, and then we're going to pull it out, and out, out, out. And now here, I'm going to go for this corner here, flip it over, give it that edge that we want, and now onto the headphone. Right, that one corner is in. I'm going to pull up to finish the top. There we go, so the top is in. What I want to do now is flip it around, pin it with my hand on the bottom so the area we've already put into the slot does not fall out. And then I'm just going to lift on the leather and the skirting, pulling up, up, right? And the last one is the fingernail, go around like that, and that is in place. Okay, the last thing you want to do is you want to look at the ear pad and you want to see if it's aligned. So this here is not aligned. This one here is fairly aligned. It's very easy to adjust these ear pads once you've installed the new Accessory House Global ones. All you're going to do is grab the sides like so and just give it a little twist. And they move very easily. So that there is more lined up. If you heard any noise in the background, it might be these two little guys, or some of the rescue rabbits here. They're a bit noisy at times. Sorry about that. If you have any questions at all, drop a comment, or you can contact us at info@accessoryhouseglobal.com. Cheers.